Hey guys, it's Anna with another art video, and today I'm really excited with another art challenge. And so I was doing the Draw This Again challenge, and I went back to the first sketchbook that I used when I got Copic markers, which was in fall 2015. And I know that in there is not the very first Copic piece I did, because I think I did that on just regular copy paper, and I don't know where that is now, otherwise I would have used that for this challenge. But I used the first Copic piece that is in that sketchbook, and it's this very, like it's not a bad picture, it's just a very, very different style than I would use now. It was back when I first started doing kind of the more anime style stuff, because before that I was really trying to go for realism and I was not able to accomplish it, which just made me not like my artwork very much. So I didn't watch anime. I just had seen images from it and I thought it looked really pretty. And so that was an art style I could accomplish that I thought was pretty. So that's the story of the start of my art journey. Or you know what I mean. Anyway, to the video. So it is supposed to be a steampunk drawing, and so she was done more in a Victorian outfit, as per my attempts at that at the time, because I wasn't such a historical clothing nerd like I am now. And so when I started drawing, I was watching the new episode of Harlots, and so I decided to switch for the nude picture. I decided to switch to 18th century, which was really fun. So I got rid of the braid and I gave her the really high hairstyle. And it's really interesting because I did a whole project on 18th century hair for my art class last year. And so, like, I know so much random information about that hairstyle. For example, so she's wearing one of those cool hats, and they had to use hat pins to get it to stay on their giant hairdo. And women would use the hat pins as little, like, self-defense stabby things, and I think that's wonderful. Yeah, but some other notes on the artwork. I tried to keep the generalized idea of the picture and the pose, but kind of bring it up a notch. So with the pose, I looked through some stock poses until I found one I liked. So it's still got the idea of the hand on one hip, but it looks a lot more like a real hand on one hip, and it's a bit sassier, I think, rather than just trying to not put in hands because I can't draw them. Yeah, some other notes on the design. I changed the skirt to have longer sides with that kind of open middle, and I tried to get the shape of the skirt to match the traditional 18th century look, which was, instead of the regular, I'm just gonna get into some really, like, detailed stuff about this that is not that important, but you know what, I put it into the piece, so I'm gonna tell you about it. There was such a big emphasis for so long on women having a tiny waist, so many parts of design went into giving a optical illusion of a smaller waist. So in the 18th century, women wore this type of, I guess, like bustle cage that was on either hip and kind of went straight out, so that you would have a very large bump right after your waist, so that if everything around your waist looked bigger, your waist would by comparison look smaller. And there's a lot of other details, if I had made this a more historically accurate dress, that I could have done to further that, but I didn't, because I was doing a redraw challenge, not a historical costuming challenge. Yeah, and I'm so happy with how the picture came out. Like, honestly, it was one of those times where I just, like, had my sketchbook out and I was just, like, staring at it because I was proud of it. Yeah, and I tried to use all the same colors that I could, although some of them were out of ink, just because I haven't gotten refills for all my markers, and it's the first set, so they've had the longest time to run out of ink. But I tried to use all the same colors that I could tell, so I used, what's it called? E08, which I do have a refill for. It's a really good color. And I used B00 for the blue. But I also used other colors, and I added shading on the face, and another problem with that original picture was I had done no shading. It was really bad. It was before I learned how to shade with Copic markers, and really, like, at all. Copic's changed everything for me. I became, like, that really jump-started improvement in my artwork. Yeah, so that's all for this video. I loved doing this challenge. Let me know if you've done this challenge. If you have, please at me on Twitter at RosemaryCat5. I'd love to see what you did. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.